Hi everybody, I'm Dallin Gunter. We're out here doing some long-range shooting. We wanted to compare two different rifles and two different shooters. This rifle here is a 6-dasher. It's a Krieger barrel put on a Remington Action by Priest Precision out of Ogden, Utah. And Tyler's got himself a Ruger American Predator in .308.
Factory rifle. So what we're going to be doing today is we've got milk jugs set out from 200 to 800 yards in 200-yard increments. There's 2 milk jugs in each one. Basically, we're going to take 15 rounds, see who can eliminate them first. Basically, I'm pretty confident I'm going to get my butt kicked, but that's kind of the point of this. So
yeah, what we're wanting to show is not only different rifles, but difference amount of practice and the effect that it has on the outcome of long-range shooting. We're shooting at 200 yards here. The right jug.
that was sweet.
Now we're gonna go.
All right, let me get you to 400. All right, 400.
Yep.
Fire one ready. Hit. You just emptied him though. All right, 600.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Send it. I couldn't tell. I think it was
A little high.
that sounded like a hit. You tell 3 years.
No, it's still full.
Still full.
Still check here. Okay. I read the wrong line on my card.
Oh.
There we go. Alright.
Yeah, it dropped a little bit on that first shot.
A little bit more wind than I thought.
Is it?
Yep, that was a hit.
So that's out to 800. I can't hardly see anything through this viewfinder though, at that far, because of the glare. So
Oh, we did it in 10.
did it in 10. I bet it hits me 10, gets 10 to get to 600 if I'm lucky.
Alright, we are ready. 200 yards. Not sure where it went.
I watched it the whole time. I never even saw anything fly next to it.
I'm watching on my rangefinder here. There, we smoked it.
I wonder if it was because I was on 16 power. Change that
If you're using your reticle, it'll change, but if you're not, it won't. Now we're gonna go to 400 yards. Just right there.
Alright, so 400. Hold over. 2 feet.
Yep. Look at that. He got on the first shot. Huh?
Alright, so we got done shooting. We lost footage. It stopped recording for some reason when we got out to 600. Which, that's really kind of when it fell apart for me. It took me 3 shots to figure out where I was even hitting in the snow, and then another 3 to finally hit it. I hit the 600 yard milk jug on my 10th shot, moved to 800 yards, got really pretty close to 800. It was a lot easier to get on at 800 because I think I figured out just exactly, well, a little more information about what that bullet was doing. 800 I got close, didn't get it done in the 15 shots, but that was basically my setup. And I was just doing holdover too, so I didn't have any hold for MO8 or anything. Whereas Dallin, he had his setup dialed in. So have him go over that for you real quick.
Yeah, so I did pretty good. I thought I could have done better. I made one mistake. I have this range card. It has all my data out to 1,000 yards. I have 4 or 5 different wind values and their holds. So 600, as you can see in the video, I shot over it for a couple times. So I actually read the line for 620 instead of for 600. Put me off about a half a foot off of center, maybe a little more. I don't know the exact measurements on a milk jug. But anyway, so that just kind of goes to show that even though I shoot like 3 times a week, I shoot a lot, you can make a simple mistake, especially if you're in the middle of a hunt or something like that. It's important to practice a lot just to know what's going on. Other than that, just knowing your equipment. So I know my equipment very well. I like how it functions. This is the last time anybody will see me shooting this gun. It's gone today, starting a new build. But being able to dial precise holdovers instead of using the reticle is nice. It's the first focal plane. So Tyler ran into, he was shooting on 4, right?
Well, I started on 16.
16
at
power.
200, and I missed twice at 200.
Yeah. So there's the marks in his scope on a second focal plane actually change measurements when he changes the magnification. So that's a little bit of difference, and it helps if you're going to do holdovers to have a first focal plane scope. Bottom line is practice.
Right.
And know your equipment. You do need some equipment that's a little above average or costs a little bit more to be able to do this really, really well. But if you know your system, you can get by with some, I don't want to say lower quality, but different setups that cost less if you know your system.
Right. How much would you say you're into your setup?
That rifle there, including the scope, right around $3,000.
And that's, I think part of what he's talking about with knowing your equipment. I was actually shooting my wife's 308. Mine's in a Weatherby Vanguard with a Leupold VX3 on it. I'm a little bit more comfortable with that gun. I'm not saying that would have made up for my crappy shooting today. It's been a while since I've shot, but knowing your equipment and what that gun, I mean, because that gun's going to shoot a lot different than mine, even though they are the same caliber. I think the basis of this, what we're trying to get across, is when somebody says practice makes perfect, that's, in this situation, very applicable. neither one of us, well, I don't condone long range shooting on animals. Dallin, he's all for it because he's a lot better shot than I am. But I think what we're trying to get across is if you're going to get into long range hunting, you need to spend the money and get it set up.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain types of setups that you can get. The biggest thing is your optic, hands down. If you can have a decent rifle that'll hold even 1-inch groups at 100 yards, and a really nice optic for that scope with precise measurements, reliable. That's the biggest thing. You can take that rifle, even if it's a $400 rifle, out to 1,000 yards with a high quality optic. If anybody's interested in having being consulted or having one of their rifles set up, you can check out my Facebook page at Dallin's Long Range Rifle Setup. I do a lot of stuff, post some videos on there, or more so pictures, but kind of show you what I'm working on as I go.
And then your Instagram's Rope and Shoot?
Yep, ROPEN Shoot.
Yep.
Because I rope and I shoot, so.
So yeah, that was kind of fun day shooting. Definitely put some things into perspective for me that I need to be practicing some more. But I think for the average shooter, I would say, I mean, I don't know what my idea of average is per se, but if you're going to go buy a $400 setup from Cabela's that's a rifle and scope and shoot it 2 or 3 times a year, I wouldn't shoot past 400 or 500 yards.
Yeah.
If I were you. But
I have a hard time putting a yardage on things, and Tyler's right though with that setup. The lowest priced scope I would ever recommend anybody is an SWFA Super Sniper straight 10 power. I think they're $300. You don't get the multi-variable powered scope with it, but the turrets and the tracking, tracking means adjustments. They're really precise and they'll get you on target. Yardage, 500 yards used to be a long ways away from me, and as I've only been shooting long range for 8 or 9 years, but my long range has changed over time, and it will for everybody. Some people 200 yards is a long shot.
Right.
You know?
Well, I got a buddy this year that, I mean, loved the kid to death, but he shot at his mule deer 11 times before he finally put it on the ground. But that's another one of those situations where practice would probably increase lethality, because, I mean, I grew up hunting with the kid. He's not a bad shot.
Right.
He just doesn't get out and practice nearly as much, as would be beneficial to your hunting
And that's
prosperity.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Right here, we're laying on the ground on our bellies.
Right.
Good rest. There was like, I think, a 3 to 5 mile an hour wind going on. I only really had to hold wind on the 600 and 800 yard shots. But when you're hunting, bushes in the way, a lot of times you're not going to be able to get on your belly.
Right.
And so that range changes. So 700 yards is a long shot here on our bellies. But then you get in a different position, shoot 300 yards is a long shot if you're going to be kneeling, or if you don't have a tripod to rest your gun on. It all changes. So it's hard to put a yardage on, say, it's not ethical to shoot past 300 yards. It all depends on the shooter, the setup, and the conditions. I think conditions are something people overlook a lot too.
Well, yeah, we had pretty optimal conditions today.
Yeah.
All things considered. So, but yeah, that's kind of where that's at. I'm sure we'll find a reason to make more videos.
Oh yeah.
Maybe do some setups or something for you guys, but we'll get back to, I know, I need to do more shooting anyways, obviously. So, we'll get back to doing something, but that's kind of the gist of this, If you want to get into long range shooting, talk to somebody who does it, figure out what you need to be doing, invest the time and the money, and I think that'll pay dividends for you.
Yep.
I don't know, kind of got to spend money to make money, kind of a thing, but spend money to reap the benefits.
Yeah, it's just whatever you're into. It's not cheap, but if that's what you want to do and you're willing to put in the time and money, you'll be able to do it.
Right here. Right on. Thanks for watching.
Later.